The lineup for the most anticipated beer release of 2026 has just been announced, and you won't believe how some popular desserts are blending with barrel-aged stouts. Welcome to a special episode of the multi-award-winning Crafty Brewers Tales Behind Craft Beer, the podcast that will increase your enjoyment of craft beer and appreciation for the people who do it. On this episode, we are going to share a preview of the 2026 lineup of Goose Island's Bourbon County Stout variants. I'm beer drinker and hellraiser Brian Noonan, and all my opinions are strictly my own, for good reason. With me, as always, is our executive producer, the man behind the magic, Mr. Cody Goff. Cody, I always ask you what you're excited about. Do I really need to ask you what you're excited about for this episode?
You don't, because it's a barley wine, because we're getting another Bourbon County brand stout barley wine this year, and I'm hype.
We always are. So let's get to the variants. The 2026 Bourbon County brand original stout, the same, but different. Ah, yes. Well, it is the same because it's the original recipe. It's the one that started it all. It was first brewed for Goose Island's 1,000th batch in 1992, and it started this craze. This year, as last year, they had the new bottling, the new packaging, 10-ounce bottles. It's going to come in a 10-ounce bottle. It's going to come in a 4-pack, and it's going to be on draft. What kind of tasting notes? Well, you know, anytime you're drinking the Bourbon County Stout, especially the original, you're going to get vanilla. You're going to get cherry, cocoa, toasted almond, caramelized sugar. Oh, so delish. Now, what did they blend it in? Because that's the key, right, Cody? We know that. The barrels are what make the beer. Well, this year, the original Bourbon County brand Stout is brewed in a mix of Buffalo Trace barrels, Heaven Hill, Four Roses, and Wild Turkey. It's aged for an average of 13 months. And man, oh man, it gives you a rich, and they say decadent, which I always love when I'm drinking beer. I love things to be decadent. That's the mouthfeel. I've always said, and I don't know how you feel about this, the original is always a really good baseline. It varies from year to year based on the barrel, based on the temperature in the barrel house, based on everything. But there's always that note of consistency that makes it such a great base for the rest of the variants.
And we've learned from speaking with many brewers over the last few years on Crafty Brewers, Tales Behind Craft Beer. Follow on your favorite podcast app. We've learned that a good barrel-aged stout has to have a good base stout. Like, you can't just put a crappy stout in a barrel and then magically the barrel makes it good. Like, that's not how that works. So, you know,
that sounds much more difficult then if I just can't put it in any old beer in there.
Yeah, it's not great. So, Goose Island, their base stout is designed to taste the best when it's aged in a barrel. So it's designed from the ground up that way. And so, it's always going to be consistently good. Like, there's no way for them to make a bad Bourbon County brand stout. It varies slightly every year because of the aging process. And since the barrel room is not temperature controlled, it actually is subject to the fluctuations of our wonderful weather here in Chicagoland. So it's going to have slightly different characters each year. But for the most part, it's still a really good base stout, which is why I'm pumped to try this year's version.
A very popular dessert, which contains one of Cody's favorite ingredients, coffee, is the base for the next variant here. It is the 2026 Bourbon County brand Tiramisu Cask Finish Stout.
But not just any coffee. This one contains tasting notes of fudge, delicate pastry, and rich espresso, which is different than what we've experienced in the past. This is an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels, then finished in rum barrels with espresso, cocoa nibs, and vanilla. And this stout's a big deal because for the first time, Goose Island finished its original bourbon barrel-aged stout in rum casks, barrels that carry their own storied past, you could say. From pirates, layering a warm sugarcane richness over the cocoa nibs, espresso, and vanilla woven into the beer. So anytime Goose Island makes a dessert style stout, it just blows you out of the water. This is are you kidding? Rum barrels and espresso? Sign me up. My mouth is literally watering right now. I'm going to have to use a filter so you don't hear like mouth sounds from my mouth. That's disgusting.
There are certain things that I'm always curious about because I'm kind of a set in my ways purist guy, and I like the bourbon barrel and the characteristics that gives to a stout. So I'm curious to see how a rum barrel, I've had different kinds of beers that have been aged in rum barrels. It's going to be interesting to see how a stout and rum go together. But if anybody knows how a stout and rum come together, it's probably the folks at Goose Island who've been doing this for a long time. So we'll roll the dice and see. Plus, I know you're a big espresso coffee additive guy. You like that in the beers. I'm not a huge coffee guy, but I can't wait to try this because, like you said, their dessert stouts are always really special, which makes me want to say, what happens when a bourbon barrel-aged stout mixes with one of the most popular comfort desserts of the fall? Well, then you get the 2026 Bourbon County brand Apple Crisp Stout. This is the one that as I'm reading through the lineup, I'm like, ding, 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 because you'll remember a few years ago, Cody, one of the Bourbon County Stouts was a caramel apple, and I lost my mind.
Yes.
And so I'm probably going to lose my mind over this. They say it tastes like fresh oats, the crumble on top, you know what that is, caramel and crisp apple. Three things that I love almost as much as beer. So we've all had apple crisp. I love it. That's one of the reasons we go apple picking every fall and we buy way too many apples because we know we're going to make apple crisps. And then everything that I work for in my life is thrown away because I just delve into apple crisp. So it's the oak comes through. The barrels give it cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves kind of through there. And then the toasted oats, they just come out with the malts and everything else. The raw sugar, caramelized aspects of the oak also get into there. And man, oh man, it sounds this is going to be one of the top. I got to try this first. Let's just say that. Enough of the hedging my bets. This is the one I'm going to first, just based on the description.
You're not going to hedge your bets with it?
I won't hedge my bets. I'm going right out. I'm going all in. I'm pushing to the center of the table. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to just lay on the bar and have them poured into my mouth.
You heard it here first. No bet hedging on the Apple Crisp Stout.
We've all had barley wines. They're always good. But what happens when you take a barley wine out of bourbon barrels and then age them over French oak? That's the question that will be answered when you enjoy the 2026 Bourbon County brand Triple Oak Barley Wine. Cody, this is your style. This is your ballywick.
What happens when you put 3 types of oak in a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine? That is the question Goose Island is going to answer with their 2026 Bourbon County brand Triple Oak Barley Wine, which I'm so excited about. It has tasting notes of burnt caramel, delicate baking spice, and stone fruit. And this is a barley wine aged in Kentucky straight bourbon barrels and finished in a blend of chinkapin, French, and Hungarian oak casks.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so each type of wood lends a different characteristic. French oak brings that refined spice characteristic. Chinkapin oak contributes subtle sweetness, and then Hungarian oak adds some tannin and baking spice. So after its time in the first set of bourbon barrels, this beer is transferred into barrels that finished Angel's Envy Triple Oak Bourbon. So this has a lot going on in it.
A lot.
Resulting in tasting notes of burnt caramel, delicate baking spice, and stone fruit. Goose Island's barley wines are just legendary in my mind. I've had a lot of barley wines, but the best ones, the ones that I know I'm going to love, are Goose Island's. And this one just sounds so earthy and so delicious. And I'm just going to drink so much of it.
Last year you yelped when, was it the King James?
King Henry
came out, and it lived up to your yelp. Their barley wines always do. I didn't, before we started doing the podcast and before I started experimenting more with beers, I didn't know what a barley wine was. And now, oh man, I love me a barley wine. Yeah. So this is going to be a good one. All right. Every bourbon barrel tells a story. So what's the story behind the 2026 Bourbon County brand Stout Toasted Barrel Rye? Oh, I don't know. Ryes are tricky. They're always good, but the 2026 Toasted Barrel Rye Stout has notes of creme brulee, toasted hazelnut, and sweet oak. Elijah Craig barrels were used for this one, straight rye whiskey barrels. Then they were finished in the toasted barrels as always. It is all of the barrels coming from Elijah Craig, as we said. They transferred then from regular bourbon barrels to Elijah Craig toasted barrels, and that gives it a whole different character, meaning Now you've got a lot of rye, a lot of oak flavoring, a lot of the toastiness. It's a rye stout with a rye front and center, meeting the rounded warmth of toasted oak. That sounds like a big beer hug, doesn't it, Cody? Like this rye stout just wants to reach out and embrace you and say, "Don't be a scourge. It's all right. It's cold outside, but let's sit with a rye stout and just celebrate its toastiness."
Yeah, rye can have a bite, but when you throw in tasting notes of creme brulee and
Yes.
toasted hazelnut, I'm a little less tentative about wanting to try this one.
Exactly. It sounds interesting. It sounds good, and it is. Elijah Craig puts out good bourbon. We know that they've been used for BCS for a long, long time, and the toasted barrels will add that interesting flavor at the end. All right. Every year, the Proprietor's blend of Bourbon County Stout is a mystery because it is only released in Chicago. If you don't live here, sorry, you're going to have to find a friend or travel. What does this year's Proprietor's blend hold?
Every year, the Proprietor's Stout does something ambitious. We've had spumoni in the past. We've had baklava in the past. And you know what another popular dessert is? Pineapple upside down cake.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
I love pineapple upside down cake. I love the sweetness. I love the little bit of the tart from the pineapple, a little sweet. I love the brown sugary and the cake, obviously. So how is this going to manifest?
Well, this is an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels, finished with pineapple, Montmorency cherry, or do you say Montmorency? Maybe you do. And vanilla sugar and pineapple, cherry, and vanilla sugar. Like, come on. So this year, Goose Island Barrel team member Chase Craig is the creator of this Proprietor's blend. It's always a different member of the Goose Island family that does it. Chase Craig turned to a dessert as iconic in its own right as the stout it inspired, the pineapple upside down cake. So this leads into the cake itself, the caramelized base, the sticky sweet crown, the way vanilla and brown sugar transform simple ingredients into something more than the sum of its parts. Then you've got that pineapple for a little tropical lift, while those Montmorency, or do you say Montmorency, cherries at a depth that echoes the maraschino's role in the original dessert. Vanilla sugar ties it all together to give you that molasses kind of caramelization that bourbon barrels impart to other beers as they age.
Did you just come up with all of that? That was a wonderful description.
Off the top of my head. And the tasting notes I have been advised
yes,
in
what
regards
would
to would be vanilla soaked cake with caramelized fruit and toasted oak, which again is making me very hungry, very hungry.
Good. Yeah, I'm going to push all in on this. Is there a theme? Yes, I like dessert. I like apples. I like pineapple. I like, the apple crumble. I want the pineapple upside down Proprietors. I want them all. Those are the two that I'm going to gravitate toward first, and then figure out which ones I want to go. Or maybe I start oak and the rye to get that spicier kind of feel, and then I end up with two desserts. Or I bookend the two dessert styles. And then, Cody, the possibilities are endless. The variants are limited, only 6 every year, coming out, of course, on Black Friday, the big release date every year for Goose Island's Bourbon County brand stouts. And I know there's always people talk, blah, blah, blah. I get very excited for that. I know you do too. We look forward to the releases. We look forward to trying these. We look forward to not cellaring them for too long. We want to drink them. And that's pretty much what you should do too. Get out there, try them, drink them. If you're interested in these, great. Drop a line, share it with your friends. Tell them, hey, Crafty Brewers knows what's coming. So do that.
Yeah. And on a final note, Goose Island President Todd Osman said, quote, "This year we are showcasing the barrels, highlighting for beer lovers exactly what a barrel and its characteristics add to our beer in every single bottle across the entire lineup." Unquote. And that, it sounds true based on all those different oaks that we're going to be tasting in the Barleywine, and based on the rum casks in the Tiramisu cask finished stout. So again, for a recap, we've got the original stout, Tiramisu cask finished stout, apple crisp stout, Proprietor stout, which is pineapple upside down cake, triple oak barley wine, and a toasted barrel rye stout.
Not too shabby. Sounds like another fantastic lineup from Goose Island, their annual Bourbon County brand stout release. This is the variants. This is what you can get again on Black Friday. So do it. 2026 promising to be a good year for Bourbon County Stout. I want to thank you for joining us on this special edition of Crafty Brewers, Tales Behind Craft Beer. As always, even though we're talking about Goose Island and Goose Island is in good shape, you got to support your local brewery, because without your support, it's rough going for some of your favorite smaller breweries. An alarming number of great breweries have recently announced that they're closing, so it's up to us to help keep those doors open. Crafty Brewers is produced by award-winning podcast producer Cody Goff. That's him. You can visit our website to browse our archive of over 50 episodes. You can get in touch with us. You can grab something from our nice merch line, all at craftybrewerspod.com. We release a new episode whenever we feel like it. It's usually a couple times a month, but it's on YouTube, it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every other podcast platform. And if you want to support the show, there's a couple different ways. Cody, how can people support this program?
It helps a lot if you just leave a comment on the YouTube video where you're consuming this, but you can also become a patron at patreon.com/craftybrewers. And special thanks to David S. and the Beer Runner for being patrons and helping support the show. It does cost us money to have software licenses and insurance for equipment and stuff to actually produce it for you. So getting a little bit less in the red is always nice for us to continue bringing you this fantastic content.
And we did win 2 awards, so we're worth a little something.
We did just win the 2026 Quill Podcast Award for Best Video Podcast, which is now a 2-peat repeat of our 2025 win in that category. So
can't spell dynasty without Crafty Brewers.
You might be able to do that.
Nope. I stand by that. I stand by it.
Yeah. Let me fact. I'm a producer. Let me fact check that.
Yeah, you fact check that and get back to me. Send me a memorandum.
Okay.
And I will immediately delete it.
Oh, and if you want to just happen to casually bump into me and Brian, very likely wearing a Crafty Brewers podcast t-shirt.
Sure, I gotta get a different color. This one bothers me.
What's wrong with the yellow?
Nothing. It matches the logo. It's just very bright.
I have 3.
Do you really?
One is green, one is gray, one is yellow. Which will I be wearing at Oak Park Micro Brew Review? You'll have to come to find out. Oak Park Micro Brew Review is the largest zero-waste craft beer festival in the Midwest. It's on August 22nd, 2026 in Oak Park, Illinois. Believe it or not, downtown Oak Park at noon. You can get tickets now. It is a celebration of craft and community. You'll be able to check out more than 40 breweries pouring not only exceptional craft beers, but also ciders, seltzers, spirits, and even non-alcoholic options.
Nice.
So there's something for every palate. It is hosted by 7 Generations Ahead, which is celebrating 25 years this year. And you can go to 7generationsahead.org to get your tickets. It's a great place. It's a great time to come out, hear some beer. There's bagpipes at 2 p.m. That makes the best kind of event. And Goose Island is actually one of the sponsors, believe it or not.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it 100%. We've been there before. It is a great time. We're looking forward to going again. Yes, we will be branded because we're whores and we want everybody to know about it. And the nice thing is we will see so many of the folks that have already appeared on the show, and then we can really pressure the people who have not been returning our emails. So we will do that to get people in. But if you see us, don't be afraid to come up and say hi. Cody loves to talk to people. Me, I'm very standoffish, but go through Cody and, you can get to me probably.
Tell me how much you enjoy the editing of the show. And
if you blow a lot of smoke up Cody's rear end, he'll be your friend forever. Yeah. We will see you at the Oak Park Microbrew Review on August 22nd in Oak Park. Thanks to Goose Island for giving us this preview and allowing us to share that preview with you. For Cody Goff, I'm Brian Noonan. Thank you again for watching. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to the beers. I'm actually drinking a Fresca.
Oh, I'm drinking just water.